Right, welcome back to Celtic Fans TV. It's time for the post-match pint after Hamilton 0, Celtic 1. We're here in the beautiful Radisson Red in Glasgow. I'm joined by Ryan and by Scott for this one. So boys, today it was just one of the days where we had to get in and out and get 3 points and move on to Thursday.
100%. It wasn't vintage Celtic by any stretch of the imagination. It was probably what we all expected when coming off the back of an international break, coming off the back of the result at Ibrox, which had everyone high as kites. Everyone was full of the beans. Everybody thought, what a result, and we really played out our skin that day. You didn't really expect us to give that same level of performance going away to Hamilton. It's not that kind of game for the players, and there's always some sort of kind of subconscious drop off for the players because it's not the same challenge that it is going away to Ibrox. So we did expect probably a bit of a drop off. The first 3 minutes looked like we were going to be on for a game, and then I don't know, it just dropped off the edge of a cliff, and the rest of the match was probably tough to watch, certainly more in the second half, but it wasn't great.
Aye, Scott, I think the first say 10-15 minutes we looked really bright. We were linking up a lot, creating chances out wide. Obviously Edouard, lovely touch for Elyounoussi and a great ball in for Forrest's goal, but as Ryan says, it did kind of veer off after that, but a great start.
A good start to the game, and it's good to see Elyounoussi getting straight out the blocks. Absolute class by Edouard, and I agree with Ryan. Like, it was never really going to be vintage Celtic today. It's a plastic park, it's a small park, it was windy, and there's not a lot of coverage around the stadium, so it's exactly kind of what I thought I would have seen. I felt like the first half was slightly better than the second half. As you say, it started brilliantly and kind of tailed off. Getting the early goal was good and kind of settled any nerves that there might have been. But in the second half, to me, I really thought that we gave Hamilton some encouragement and some time and space to come into the game. And in the second half specifically, I felt that we weren't getting any chances. The ball was on the right hand side of the park or central. We weren't using ball and goal. We weren't using Elyounoussi on the left hand side, and when we were, that's when we were getting results, when we were getting balls into the box. So maybe that was their game plan. Maybe they were just trying to force us down the right because we weren't getting much success there. So could have been better, but look, we've got the 3 points, and that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. You're going to have these hard games. You're going to have times where you can't play vintage Celtic. You can't be free flowing because people just stifle you. It's a terrible part, weather, whatever it is. It's good character.
Definitely, we talk about the pitch. We talk about the pitch a lot, Ryan, but there's just no getting away from it. See, I say it season after season. People are maybe fed up. We're only in the second season. People are probably fed up with me saying you never get a good game in these pitches. I've just never seen one. Like, the ball's so slow. I think we'd only played 2 minutes, and James Forrest nearly went over on his ankle because it looks dry. It's heavy. The ball's like they're misjudging the run of the ball, and like it takes a bit of getting used to it. I know it's alright, people say it's the same for both teams, but it's not conducive to a free flowing game of football.
No, it's not, and I think perhaps probably part of the reason why I think Callum McGregor kind of looked a bit loose on the ball today, and maybe he was misreading the run of the ball. Yes, we'll probably talk about it a bit. He's a bit tired and fatigued and probably needs a wee bit of rest, but I think the pitch on the whole doesn't play into a conducive free-flowing style of football, and it does stifle it a wee bit, and it works into these smaller teams' hands because when we're travelling away to Livingston and Hamilton and Kilmarnock and wherever we're going, when we're playing on a plastic pitch, we don't produce the same level we can at home, and I think that does play into their hands. They get a bit of benefit. They're training on it all the time, or they're playing on it, and we just are not used to it. The level of player that perhaps that we have within the team is more conducive to that free flowing style, and they just don't. I don't know if they're hesitant to play a bit more kind of free flowing, or they just can't because it's just the pitch isn't going to allow it.
You can see that it just gets caught in people's feet, and you just can't do the kind of 1-2s that you like to do. But bear in mind, we've got one of the parts at Lennoxtown. It's not as if the players are like, what's this material called? Do you know what I mean? They understand it, but it's just not conducive to the way we like to play. Hamilton didn't water the park either, so they knew that was what they were trying to do. They weren't going to try and play free flowing football, so it played into their hands. I think that's why it got a bit nervy in the second half, but again, great character just to see it through.
There is variances in them as well. Like, some are long, some are short. There's more pellets on some than there is in others. As you say, it was dry. because Hamilton chose not to water it. Again, that helps them and it plays into their hands. Into the second half, Ryan, obviously a bit of dip in tempo. Again, I don't know why. We could probably sit here all day and discuss reasons for why. We've touched on the pitch already. We're coming off the back of an international break. There's the high of winning at Ibrox, and almost like the polar opposite kind of game at Ibrox. Capacity crowd, massive intensity, to a wee small stadium at Hamilton, like less than 10,000 people there. They're polar opposites, but there was that dip in the second half, wasn't there? There
was, and I think Scott might actually have hit the nail on the head when he talked about Hamilton probably did force us more down the right in the second half, and Bolly was phenomenal in the first half, and I think he created a lot in the first half, the first 45 minutes. Yes, we kind of dropped off a wee bit into the second part of the first 45, but Bolly was very creative for us and showed a bit of spark, and he was hitting the byline and getting balls just dinked into the box. Edouard almost got his foot on one went over the middle and there was nobody there to take it. So when they directed us onto the right hand side, I don't think we created anything in the second half, so maybe that is part of the reason. I think as well as that, you come out to a second half in a game that you feel it's already kind of dropped off a wee bit. It might be hard to bring yourself back out there and start to kick on a wee bit again when you know you're going up against Hamilton for the second half. There was a mental drop off there. I think other than Forrest shot off the underside of the bar, we didn't really look like scoring. We weren't creating a great array of chances in the second half. Again, the problem with these games is, and that's why the victory is huge. Obviously 3 points after the derby is massive, but it can be very easy for the team, I think, to just lull themselves into that security because they're controlling the game. Like Hamilton, for all Hamilton did go into the game in the second half, they were never cutting us open at will, and we weren't really clinging on, but we did give them a bit of oxygen, and it's easy for the players maybe to get lulled into that, we're cruise control here, but a 1-goal lead is never enough. And we managed to get over the line, Scott, but what did you make of that second half?
Hard to watch. Scrappy. That guy in the middle of the park, what's his name? The boy in the middle of the park, shaved head.
Smith?
No.
It's usually Darian McKinnon, but he was on the bench today.
Gogic? Yes, Gogic, right. He kind of bossed it, right, in terms of not legally, right, didn't legally boss it because he was putting in bad challenges all over the shop, right, and I don't know why it took him 6 fouls to get a yellow card, and quite a dirty player, but he was exactly what Hamilton needed. He was just good at breaking up the play and upsetting us and understanding when we were about to break away, and he would just put a bad challenge and somebody had done Rogic a couple of times as well. So
Rogic.
Exactly. So it wasn't a great watch, to be honest with you, but look, fair play to Hamilton, because that was their game plan. They're not there to show they're not there to put out a model footballing display for the 1,000 fans that probably come up to watch them. Do you know what I mean? They went there to frustrate us, and they did that, and not great for the viewer, but we get through it.
That's it, Ryan. At the end of the day, another 30 of them, and it'll be 9 in a row.
You would 100% take 30 of them, right? It wouldn't be a nice season, it wouldn't be great to watch. There'd be a lot of times where you had your heart in your mouth and you were really kind of praying for the final whistle, but we would take them. If we get a 1-0 win every game for the rest of the season, I'll take it all day long. But you're not going to get that level of performance the rest of the season. We're going to have those games, and the more of them that we come through unscathed, the more of them we come through with a clean sheet, with a 1-0 win, the better. The 3 points is all that mattered today, and we got it, and I'm happy.
Absolutely, Scott. 5 out of 5. Can he come about that?
Was that 10 years it's not been done in? Or was it 8 years?
I missed it.
That's a record.
Was I reading that somebody posted on Twitter, right, this might be a mile it, but 1906 or something since the last time that we won the first 5 games in a season?
No, it's a big record. I don't think it was as long as 120 years or whatever, but I thought it was at least 10. As I say, I forgot the number, but no, look, it's brilliant. It's very, very good, and it's not as if we had a very, very easy start to the season. We've played big teams, we've played teams that we could have been shaky against, and we've came through it, and probably today was probably the least convincing that we've looked. I would argue so, and again that's because of the conditions and the situation and the international break. You could not ask for a better start to the season. It's just about how do we move on from here. That's essentially the season opened, and it's been opened in a brilliant form. We're 6 points ahead as it stands. I don't know what the score is in the other game, but you know what I mean, as it stands, we're probably still 6 points clear. But how do we move forward? Like, I don't know if we're going to touch on Callum McGregor or who's going to come in the left-hand side, but essentially I think now we need to start looking at, can these players that are our core, like Scott Brown, seem to pick up a bit of a knock today but then played through it. Callum McGregor and Ryan Christie, can they all continue to play that amount of football every single week? Because we played arguably our first 11 today, starting 11 against a team where we should kind of be strolling it. How long until we need to start switching things about to make sure people are fresh, to keep people fresh?
Aye, but probably not very long, Ryan. If you think, obviously in defence today, Christopher Ayer went down again, and it seems like it's a game to game basis. Christopher Ayer goes down at some point, and you just panic every time. I think obviously Scott Brown looked like he took a knock at some stage in the game. We've got, I think is it 4 games in a space of 9 days coming up across 3 competitions: Europa League, the League Cup. So there is going to be opportunities for Neil to rotate the squad. As Scott said there, it was pretty much full strength today. I think coming off an international break with a big game on Thursday, he kind of had to go as close to full strength as he could. But we're definitely going to have to manage the squad really well this next month or so.
I think we're very fortunate in that we've got a lot of attacking options. I think we're quite settled from an attacking perspective. I think we just kind of seem to go out the bit defensively. We kind of seem to find 2 players that can play centre half for an extended period of games. It seems to be that we're having to rotate and switch all the time, and I think progressively injuries have been the kind of backbone of the problem and the difficulty that we're finding. So if we can just get a bit of consistency of that, I would like to think that we can keep kind of the back 2 the same. So Ayer, if we can get out, he's obviously got a groin problem, and that's sometimes difficult to rehab and get back to full strength. And the slightest wee bit can kind of send that off how you get again, and it is a worry. But I think as you move up the park, we do need to start rotating a wee bit better. Neil Lennon was keen to get game time in Elyounoussi legs today, ahead of Thursday, because Johnson's obviously got an injury now, and I think that looking kind of deeper again, Callum McGregor certainly needs some rest. He needs, again, just to step back a wee bit for playing as many games as consistently as what he has. And a day like today, if it hadn't been on the cusp of heading over to Rennes for an away game, the first game in the Europa League this season, then it probably would have been a slightly weaker team that he would have fielded. But we need to start rotating. We need to start using the abundance that we have from an attacking perspective, and we need to get players back in defence.
I definitely want to touch on Elyounoussi. Just briefly, Scott, what did you make of him overall?
I mean, done brilliant for the goal. It's really good to see him getting out of the box quickly. Apart from that, some good glimpses here and there, but relatively quiet, I thought. But at the end of the day,
hasn't played a lot of football. He's just in the door, and look, we've learned lessons with making snap judgments on players as soon as they come in. He's got to get a few months before anyone makes a real judgment. Let's judge how he played today and next week and whatever, but before we start writing MD off or saying anybody's the next messiah, do you know what I mean? Let's just let him get some games in his legs. I'm not massively impressed, but it wasn't the best of games to come into either. Aye, as all the conditions we've touched on before probably didn't help him, but as I said in the Twitter reaction line, he'll have a lot better scenarios to play for Celtic and on big pitches, and I think you can see even in the glimpses, as Scott said today, you can see there's a real player there.
There is a real player there, and one of my thoughts in the opening moments was just his vision and his ability to thread a pass, and he just has such a acute awareness around about him, his surroundings, and the players that are coming into playing, where maybe he just sees that little step above the level that he was playing against today. So to see him move up in kind of competition into the Europa League and into kind of the bigger games that are coming up throughout the season, it looks like he's got something. It was hard to see until today how much of a player he is, but we've seen him previously, and we know that give him a couple of months he can really bed in do a good job for us this season.
Yeah, I think you can see in the glimpses, and I love it when you can see this from a player who's played at maybe a higher level, and you see the touch and the vision, and you know straight away that if like there's a real player there, because they're just on a different level in terms of the way they control the ball, how early they can see a pass, how they can execute passes, and I'm really excited to see what is going to come for Elyounoussi. I think he'll probably start on Thursday as well. It depends how Mikey Johnson's injury is, but again, we wouldn't want to be rushing him back. A groin strain similar to Aya, where you just want to be careful with how you manage it, because if you rush him back too early, he'll soon end up out again, and he's another one who already this season has had a few injury issues, and he's a young boy, so we don't want to end up in a situation like we did with Kieran Tierney, where he plays 60 games a season for 3 or 4 seasons in a row, and then he's got real issues.
No, absolutely. I think just that's maybe the reason why he's kept picking up these kind of small 2 to 3 week injuries, because we're rushing him back. So I think let's just give him a couple of weeks out. Let's just give him more time than he needs. And again, I'm not a sports scientist. They obviously know what they're doing more than I do, but I just think we shouldn't be rushing him back, because we've probably got someone there in Elyounoussi that is more than capable of filling in for Mikey Johnson. And again, it's good to see him get up to scratch so we can understand what kind of player he is. It's kind of, if Mikey Johnson was fit, I don't think Elyounoussi would have started today, and I think rightly so. It's Mikey Johnson's to lose, so it's good that Neil Lennon had a good excuse to put Elyounoussi in. We can see what he's doing, give him game time, and then it's a decision to make when Mikey Johnson's ready. Do you know what I mean? No, that's good. Can I just touch on another thing as well? Right, defensively, nobody really spoke about it, but actually I thought defensively we were really good, quite solid at the back. I'm talking about in the middle of the park, the defensive midfield, I don't think was particularly great, quite sloppy with the ball at times, and particularly Callum McGregor, but the actual defence, Julian, very, very good. Bolly as well, winning some of the tackles that normally I wouldn't have expected him to win.
Bolly was good, aye.
Yeah, so in man of the match as well. So I just wanted to put in a wee positive word about the back four.
Aye, absolutely. On to Thursday then, where the back four will be tested, and I talked about the contrast between Ibrox and then going away to Hamilton. But here's another contrast: away to Hamilton and then away at Rennes. Just absolute polar opposites in terms of quality. Ryan, what do we have to do on Thursday to stand a chance of getting a result?
We need to be absolutely assured when we have the ball. We need to be demanding and commanding of the ball. Today, somebody kind of touched on it in the post-match. We need to be winning second balls. So when there is a 50-50, we need to be coming out with the ball. We need to be winning the second balls. In defence, we need Julian and if Ayers fit, we need them to take command of the box and deal with whatever's coming into the box. So we just need an assured performance for the back four. Bolly did really well again today. I touched on it earlier, where you're just thinking that someone like Taylor coming into the squad is good to push someone like that on, because you know that if you drop the ball, someone's coming in behind you to take the spot. So we need the back four, again, Mohamed, to produce a top quality performance, because away from home in Europe, the home team's always going to apply the pressure and look to get the result. So we need a proper performance for the back four. We need good control in the middle of the park when we have the ball, and we need perfect delivery in this final third, because we need Edouard to get the ball into feet. We need them to start again using the players out wide, and we just need to create that same sort of intensity that we've brought before. We've got goals in us, we know we can score, so just super tight at the back, and then that free flowing nature that we've had going forward.
Aye, in many ways, Scott, I think a similar performance to what we've seen at Ibrox. Okay, then a vastly better team than Rangers, in my opinion. A lot of dangerous players. They've obviously had a great start to the season. They've beaten PSG already this season. They've got a lot of quality, but in many ways I can see similarities with what we need to do on Thursday to what we've done at Ibrox, in terms of trying to get on the front foot, just winning 50-50s in that early part of the game, getting through the first 15-20 minutes, taking the chances when they come along, and defending when we have to.
That's it. It's going to be about battles again. It's not going to be about, well, our system be better than their system. It's to do with the key battles. Middle of the park, at centre back, and even Ryan Christie is going to be important as well in terms of pressing the ball. I think down the spine of the team we need to be solid. Otherwise, the wide players won't really get a shout and won't really have the service that they deserve. So I agree with you 100%. Scott Brown's going to be a huge player. Callum McGregor's going to be a huge player again. We need him on form for Thursday. You can't drop him, no matter. You could have threw in 3 goals tonight. I don't think you can drop him, because huge players like that are allowed not to be on form at any given day. Julien's going to be important for us in terms of winning balls in the box. But no, I agree 100%, Paul. It's got to be battles. We've got to boss them a wee bit. It can't just be, we'll play better football than them. It's got to be, we've got to put them out off their form. We've got to rattle them a wee bit, I think.
And how do you feel coming into it, just to round us up? Do you think we can get a result? Do you feel that we're capable of getting a result for what we've seen so far this season?
If you asked me this a couple of weeks ago, from a defensive perspective, where I still thought there was frailties, after the performance at Ibrox, you just hit the nail on the head. If we can do exactly the same as we did at Ibrox, then I believe we can get some sort of result. It is a big ask. Travelling away from home in Europe is never an easy task for Celtic. We don't travel well. But if everything, like Scott says, if we can win the battles, if we can set a marker down in the game that knocks them a bit off and hopefully gets a bit of kind of retaliation for the home crowd, maybe kind of knock things off a wee bit in terms of the style that they're trying to play and the possession that they're trying to push on us, then we can come away with something. Again, it's a big ask, but we can.
What do you think, Scott?
It's a big ask. A lot of things need to go right for us, and a few things need to go wrong for Rennes for it to happen. So yes, of course we can get a result. If we don't, I'm not going to be crying about it. But a lot of things need to go right for us.
And this is not to say that Rennes are absolute world beaters. They're not. We don't want to. I can already see the comments saying, it's Rennes, we can definitely win, but we don't want to underestimate them. We've seen Celtic away from home in group stage competition. It's always difficult, and like I say, Rennes have got a lot of quality, but I think it is going to come down. If you take it Lazio or the top seeds, it's possibly a shootout between us and Rennes for qualification, provided we can take care of Cluj. Very similar to last season, it became a shootout between us and Leipzig. They beat us away, we beat them at home, and then it came down to picking up points against the bottom seeds. So I think that's what the group will come down to. I think we can get a result as well, but we just need to do all the things we've said, and we've got to be brave on the ball, and we've got to defend manfully whenever we have to. That's it for the post-match pint today. Like the video, comment your own thoughts below. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. We're quickly approaching 19,000, and we'll be in Rennes next week with all the content and the build up to the game. Join us on Tuesday for that. Thank you.